Have you ever thought about a construction project so big, so wild, that it literally changes the map of the entire cosmos? Well, in John Milton's Paradise Lost, we get to see it all go down. The moment evil builds a literal superhighway from hell straight to our front door. And today we're going to break down exactly how they pulled it off.
So how in the world did this happen? And no, this wasn't just some metaphor. In Milton's epic poem, this is a real physical engineering project. He gives us the full step-by-step blueprint of how two monstrous beings took the raw stuff of chaos itself and built a permanent bridge for sin and death to just pour into our world.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off back at the gates of hell. They're now standing wide open because Satan has already passed through on his mission to corrupt humanity. But left behind are two pretty terrifying figures, his daughter Sin and their son Death. And well, they're starting to get a little restless.
Sin is the one who breaks the silence. She turns to her son, Death, and she's basically like, "Son, why are we just sitting around here looking at each other while Dad is out there winning a whole new world?" You see, she can feel that Satan is succeeding, and she wants in on the family business.
And this isn't just, a vague ambition. It's a new physical feeling. She feels her strength just surging, her wings growing. Milton describes it as this powerful, undeniable pull toward the new world. It's a deep, primal instinct, just dragging her across that massive abyss of chaos.
Milton actually gives this feeling a name, a connatural force. The easiest way to think about it is like a dark, magnetic attraction. Because humanity is about to sin, sin herself, the literal embodiment of the concept, is being pulled toward them. It's this secret sympathy, a connection between things of the same evil nature. Evil is calling to evil across the universe.
So here's the key thing, right? They both agree to build this bridge, but for totally different reasons. Sin is driven by this desire for power, this mystical connection to her father's work. Death, on the other hand, he's much, much simpler. He's driven by pure, raw, predatory hunger. He can literally smell all the future death that's about to happen on Earth.
And Death's reaction in particular is just absolutely chilling. He doesn't just agree, he's thrilled. And this is where Milton visualizes his unnatural senses in a way that is, frankly, unforgettable.
Now, to help us wrap our heads around how Death could possibly sense prey from a whole other dimension, Milton pulls out one of his signature moves, the epic simile. He compares this monstrous figure of Death to a flock of hungry vultures.
I mean, just let that imagery sink in for a second. He's saying that just like vultures can somehow sense a battle the day before it even happens, drawn by the scent of living bodies that are destined to become corpses, Death can smell mortality itself, all the way from hell. He's not smelling things that are already dead. He's smelling life that is now forfeit to him. It's so creepy.
And with that, they're off. The two of them just launch themselves from the gates of hell and plunge right into the waste-wide anarchy of chaos, that raw, unformed, primordial soup of matter that exists between the worlds, to start their unholy construction project.
And to give us a sense of the sheer scale of their power, Milton gives us another incredible image. He compares them to two opposing polar winds crashing together in the Arctic, just driving these vast mountains of ice. I mean, that's the kind of raw elemental force they're using to gather their building materials from the chaos. Okay, so how do you actually build a highway to hell? Well, Milton gives us this four-step monstrous process. First, they gather the materials, basically herding all the solid and slimy junk from chaos into one place. Second, they solidify it. Death uses his mace petrifish, a staff that turns things to stone, to make it cold, hard, and dry. Third, they bind it all together, using a petrifying stair like a Gorgon's and asphaltic slime as a kind of mortar. And finally, they fasten it, anchoring the whole thing deep into the bedrock of hell itself with unbreakable chains.
And just like that, with terrifying speed, their wondrous art is finished. They have created a permanent physical bridge that spans the unbridgeable gap between hell and our universe. The cosmos is now fundamentally, permanently changed. This is huge. Evil is no longer some distant, abstract threat. It now has a paved express lane right into our world.
And what's this new path like? Milton's description here is horrifying, precisely because of how simple it is. The road is broad, smooth, and easy. He's making it crystal clear. The journey to damnation is no longer a difficult one. It's now an inviting, gentle slope downward.
So to really drive home the insane scale of this bridge, Milton makes one final comparison, this time to something from our own history, the massive bridge built by the Persian king Xerxes.
So by comparing this supernatural highway to Xerxes' famous pontoon bridge, which was a legendary feat of engineering built for conquest, Milton grounds this cosmic horror in human terms. He's basically saying, you think that was an impressive act of arrogant ambition? That's a child's toy compared to this.
So let's just recap what they've built here. It's this massive, rocky ridge just hanging over the abyss. It follows the exact path Satan took, which basically creates a diabolical shortcut. And maybe most terrifying of all, Milton tells us it's made too fast and durable. This thing isn't temporary, it's a permanent fixture that now connects hell, our world, and even the outer walls of heaven.
The bridge is complete, and as Sin and Death stand there admiring their handiwork, they look out towards Earth and see a figure coming towards them. It is, of course, the very person they built this whole monstrous thing for.
It's Satan, coming back from his successful corruption of humanity, but, and this is key, he's disguised. He looks like a bright, beautiful angel. To any other being in the universe, he would be completely unrecognizable. But Sin and Death, well, they aren't just any other beings.
Despite the disguise, his own children instantly know who he is. That connatural force strikes again. The unholy trinity, Satan, Sin, and Death, is finally reunited, standing together at the mouth of their brand new highway, which leads directly into the heart of our world.
And this leaves us with a final, pretty terrifying thought. The path for evil is no longer hard to find. It's paved, it's broad, and it's easy. So, what does this actually mean for the future of humanity? What hope is there when hell has a direct access road right to your front door?